And good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Welcome on into the Dragon's Den. My name's Digital Dragon, and I'm a 3D printing variety streamer here on Twitch. Welcome on in, Chewy. Chewy, Nick, KB3D Chris, Stephen Poole. Welcome on in. How's everybody doing tonight? Chewy, I did receive your packages. So that was good. And for those of you that like the new intro stream, please give a big thanks to Solar 3D, sorry. He provided that to me. Just kind of surprised it and dropped it on me. So it was kind of a surprise. Hey, Kenneth 3D Prints, welcome in. Two Wolf Designs, welcome on in, everybody. Welcome on in. Yeah, Solar provided that to me. There's something else that he provided to me that I'm going to have to print, and once I get that done, it'll be up on the wall somewhere back here. So how's everybody doing this evening? I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. The eye's doing pretty well. I do have some of the lights down a little bit lower, not as many lights on up here, just because it tends to still mess with my eye a little bit. But surgery on the right eye went well. I had to follow up with the surgeon this morning. And yes, so I had cataract surgery to get rid of a cataract in both eyes, actually. But we did the right eye. That's why you might be able to see there's still some writing up here on my forehead. Apparently, I can't wash my face because I can't get soap or water or anything like that in or around my eyes right yet. So I was trying to clean that area off with some IPA, and I still couldn't get it all to come off. Yeah, so we took Mrs. Dragon to the airport on Tuesday. Wednesday, I went in and had surgery on the right eye. Evil Diesel took me to that. He took me to my follow-up appointment today. I'll go pick Mrs. Dragon up at the airport Saturday evening, and then she'll take me next Wednesday to have the left eye done. So, yeah, eyes are very important. Yes, yes. So, like I said, the vision's there. It was a little blurry. Like if I'm looking at just one eye, it is a little blurry. Not too bad. But I do kind of get some pulsing like sensation in my periphery. And the doctor was like, yep, that's normal. That'll take a little bit because your eyes are still somewhat dilated and all that goodness. So for those of you that have been following along, we've been working on the salad fork, and let me get this down and out of the way for just a moment. So I've been working on the salad fork. And the salad fork is up and running. I do have the 3 outer panels on. I don't have the top panel on just yet. And I have the door on, but I took it off for this stream because I need to leave it open because I'm printing PLA still. And that means I need to leave it open, hanging out here. I'm afraid I'm going to catch it and bust it. But everything's going well. I still need to add the fans to the side, and I need to repair this piece. I either need to reprint the front piece and then put it back on, or possibly just acetone weld the seam right here. But I caught this and basically pulled the hinge material through the top of this because it's really thin. So it's either reprint this or try and acetone weld it. I'll probably try and acetone weld it first. And if that doesn't work, then I'll reprint it. And I still need to configure this to work anyhow. But, yep, we'll have a little display going there. The other thing that I was holding off on is I still need to print and add the Nevermore. I've got one printed, but it's not the right color scheme, so I'm not going to install that. Hey, Westery One, how's it going? Hey, Royal Nomi, how are you doing? Welcome on in. Yes, Royal Nomi definitely needs some good vibes, some big heart love. Let's show some love to Royal Nomi and BC as well. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to stream tonight. It's going to depend really on my eye and how well it goes without feeling like it's straining too much with the additional lights. I've been sitting in pretty dark room throughout the day. Not going to lie, napping a lot too because I wasn't working. So yeah. But we've been printing off parts for the Micron build, but then I got to thinking, what do we really want to tackle? So Saturday, we're going to start working on Chewy's 2.4 again. Since I did get his panels in so we can keep going, we'll be able to add the Z motor, put the deck panel on, add the Z motors, and then start building the gantry. So we'll be able to start making a little bit more progress on that. You forgot it was Thursday. Well, I'm here to help keep you on schedule then, Westery. Because you know my streams. How's it going, Pez? Yeah, happy to see you guys as well. I do have vision. No X-ray, no bionic vision, no laser vision. I asked, and quite honestly, it's not covered by insurance. And Mrs. Dragon would not clear me for either X-ray vision or laser vision. She said it was too much. So I bought more stuff from KB3D. You know how that goes. Oh, thank you for all the hearts and the hype there, Two Wolf Designs. Party. I'm telling you, no laser vision. That sucks. But I will tell you that I did get some parts in. Let me flip over to this screen real fast. I did get some parts in for the black box build from KB3D. I haven't even taken off the shrink wrap yet, but let me see if I can pop one of these out here and just get it up on the camera for you. He packaged these things so nice. See if that comes out. So they are laser etched with black box. And according to Chris, this is one of the last sets that was done before his pecker died. So these things were really nicely finished. Oh man, you chamfered all the holes and deburred them too? Very, very nice. Very nicely done. But yep, we got the black box engraving, laser engraved on these. So that's really cool. And I got 4 of them out of the 5 tool heads that I'm going to wind up having on it eventually. He suggested getting 4 FDM tool heads and leaving one open because there may be other options down the road. But I also got, so 3 of these, the 3 top ones are made for Revos. And then the bottom is a standard M6 thread heat break. So I'll be able to run 3 Revos and then have one to work with anything else. Like if I needed, or if I wanted to use like a tungsten carbide or, a Diamondback or something like that, I could throw a Diamondback in there. So it gives me options, especially if I want to test out other things. Maybe put a CHT nozzle on one, So yeah, RIP Laser Pecker. Hopefully he can get his pecker repaired. I hear it's under warranty, so we'll see. Hey, Da Vinci, how's it going? Aaron, welcome on in. Welcome on in. I also got a couple of 3DO enclosure cameras and some linear wire. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to put an enclosure camera in here or in the Micron, and the 2.4 is where I'm really thinking about putting it. But we'll see. Maybe one will go in here. Exactly. You gotta go full send and just give it the shot, right? Still radio silence from Laserpecker. How about Fusion 360 and Autodesk? Yeah, he didn't pace himself playing with his pecker, Royal Nomi. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So the salad fork is pretty much done. It's literally some tuning now for filaments, and then putting the top panel, the door panel back on. Once again, getting a Nevermore or bento box or something. I'm kind of partial to the Nevermores. So I'll put that on this left side over here, and then the side fans, and I'll be able to bring these fans together using a like an LDO motor style 4-pin. So this is 4JST. So I'll bring the three fans together, and then one connection from this board to the M5P, and then I'll have all the fans running on a single circuit. Because the controller fans and the Nevermore fan, I'm probably going to run them all at the same time anyhow, simply because, you know, I plan on just using this to do hot parts. So driving home? Okay, Royal Nomi, be careful. Get home safely. Well, it's got to be the spelling of his name. I bet you if he had the other Chris talking, then, you know, they wouldn't be thrown off as much with the K. But then again, I hear Chris Kringle was a Chris with a K, right? So maybe you can play that card of, hey, you know, you're going to keep messing and you're going to wind up on the naughty list, and then Santa's, you know, I'm not going to come see you on Christmas. Yeah. Awesome. So I've resliced one of the files. So I did just print a benchy on this, and it came out really well, except for it lifted up here on the end a little bit. But even all of the lettering came out very well. So my first layer squish is good, but this came out really well. And I've resliced it, slowing everything down, because basically what I've been doing is just letting it go, and then at the second layer, when it starts to ramp up the speeds really fast, I just crank it down to like 30%. I'm not sure why I am overdriving. I don't know if it's the extruder mechanism or the hot end. The hot end, from everything I've seen, I should not be overrunning the hot end. I should be able to get a lot more flow out of it than a Revo, being the drop effect XG. But I'm overrunning the hot end, and I haven't yet figured out why, because it should be able to do better than the Revos do as far as flow rates go. So we are going to have to do a bunch of tuning on this. So I will put this camera up, and we'll kick that camera on, kind of make it our background camera for now. And make that a little bit bigger for us. And one of the things that I have not done yet is input shaper. We do have input shaper. An ADXL is on the EBB36 board back here. So we just need to run input shaper. I will tell you, I always try and get the most sturdiest platform. One of the reasons why I was waiting to run input shaper was to add as many of the panels as possible, because that's going to make this even more rigid. I still dislike the fact that the feet on these printers are so small. These are very, very small contact points. There's only 4 of them. I prefer to have the larger feet like we use on a, at least, make them about the size of a quarter versus, like somewhere between a dime and a nickel. But it is what it is. And I need to do input shaper on here. So what we're going to do, let me go over to the browser window view. And of course, it's not picking up the browser. So let's, there we go. Let's grab our browser. And we need to do our input shaper, which means I need to remember the input shaper command. And I think it's just literally input shaper to do the automated one. Hey, Timor, welcome on in. And that was an unknown command. So apparently it's not just input shaper. Darn it. Shaper calibrate. There we go. Thank you, Aaron. I knew somebody would help me out. Shaper calibrate. Oh, I have everything done, but apparently numpy. So all right, so I do need to come over here and do tell me mountain software install. There we go. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of install here first. I'm gonna log in as BQ. And I know let me go over here to the full display so you see what I'm doing. So we have to install some software on here. So we just logged into our Raspberry Pi. We're going to run the command to install NumPy. Make sure Python 3, Matplot library, and a couple other things are installed. And then the install of NumPy takes a little bit, and I forgot I hadn't done that part yet. I keep going, I've got everything in the config, I'm ready to go, and I forget that I need to install software. You wear your pants backwards on stream days only? Nice. NumPy on a CB1 can take forever. Looks like we just had an ad break starts here in a minute. Let me see if I can kill it or if it's too late. Oh, we're snooze. I bought you 5 minutes. NumPy on a CB1 can take forever. This CB1 is different though because this CB1 has 32 gig of onboard eMMC memory. So I use the Clopane input shaper scripts to automate the grass and all. I'm not familiar with that one, but okay. So we have tried something new, and once this gets started, I will go through and show that off. Does he wear pants? God, I hope he wears pants. I hope he wears pants, and we always have to heckle Creatix Brit when she's wearing pants. So if you ever catch her on stream wearing pants, you got to do the bang pants and heckle Creatix Brit. Okay, so that installed. Now we're going to copy this line to install Numpy. I'm just going to paste that, hit enter. There we go. So we'll see how long this takes because, like I said, I'm running eMMC memory. So hopefully it goes a little bit faster. Okay, Aaron, I can do that. There was something about Chris Cross recently. Did one of them get in trouble and like go to jail or something? But that's what we kind of need to do. We need to get Chris and Chris to wear overalls and wear them backwards at a show. You got the best free sample from KB3D Chris today? What'd Chris send you, Zombie? I know he's sending me a Leviathan board to test out. That and a couple of Smart Orbiter 3s. I need to get those compared against the Orbiter 2s that I'm running. Hey, look, Numpy installed quick. Zombie lube gloves. Ooh. Yeah, I realized when I got I ordered some when I got my lineal wires. By the way, Zombie, thanks for reminding me because when you ordered yours and posted about it, I was like, oh crap, I didn't get more wire. So thanks. So I got more wire and I stocked up on lube, and you changed the syringes and the packaging for your syringes. So pretty good. Okay, so Numpy is now installed. So that should be good. I don't think we need to do anything else because we've already got the information up here. So we should be able to just up arrow for shaper calibrate, hit enter, and it should go. Must home, like really? You can't home access yourself? Fine. Apparently I got to home first. Yeah, you were waiting for that. Yeah, I don't know why the shaper calibrate command just doesn't force a G28 before it runs. You'd think that it would be easy enough. Let's switch back over to this window so you can see as it starts the calibration. Go over there, come over here. Does it let me go to? Yes, shaper calibrate. Success. And now it's starting to do its thing. And you'll see the X start, you'll see the tool head start shaking. And you might be able to hear it. I doubt it, though. I'm going to see how well it shakes the table, though. You got to make like 1,000 cables. So that was the one thing that I wanted to do. And I need to set up a pole. What's the best way to set up a pole? Ooh, manage pole. Let's click that. Create a new pole. Okay, I'm going to run a poll for 10 minutes. No, I'm not going to. Oh, yeah. You can use channel points if you want to add additional votes. But yeah, poll started. And the question is, what should our next build be? We'll continue to do the Chewy build on Saturdays, but the Tuesday, Thursday during the week stream, the question is what do we want to do? And there's a couple of options. It's the Formbot Micron Plus, the Annex Engineering K3, the DFH Trident 350 kit, or the V01 tear down and upgrade to a V02. So if you're interested, please go ahead and take part in the poll. It should be up at the top, pinned to the top of your chat window. All I want for Christmas is K3. Yeah, and I am waiting on a couple of things to come in, but it shouldn't be that long for the K3. Hector's sending me the Aaron. Hector's sending me a 185 PEI sheet and the motor mounts. So and while this is running, I'm going to. Now I'm curious to see how this turns out because I'm running my belts a little bit tighter than normal. They're more at about 140 hertz than 110. So curious to see how this input shaper result turns out. Hate when I'm trying to pull Brem off something and I drop it right into the box of like Brem and failed parts. supports. So what I'm kind of working on in the background as this is running and we're chatting is just deburring some parts for the Micron build. And if we decide to do something other than the Micron, no problem. I just need to start printing parts, which I can start doing tonight. And we'll have whatever parts are needed for Tuesday to start on the next build. And that doesn't mean that we're done with any and all Salad Fork content. It just means that we'll continue, with prints here and there on the Salad Fork as we start tuning things in. You are streaming tonight? What time are you streaming tonight, Aaron? Because like I said, I'm not planning on running as long as I normally do, just because my eyes and stuff. So if you're going to stream tonight, we can definitely raid over to you, and I can just listen and check out while you're doing your wiring and stuff on Pandora Box, because I seem to have missed some of that build. Last week or so, I feel like I've not been paying attention to a lot of my streamers, and I'm feeling bad about it. Or we've had times where, like Tuesday night, Creatix Brit had just raided in with like 50 something people, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I've got to get off here because of my surgery the next morning. So I kind of felt bad for jumping off so fast. About 8 p.m. Oh, that's a good thing to watch, is when people are doing the wiring. It's kind of like a little bit of ASMR for me watching, especially when I'm watching like Steve Builds do his. Like, I'm still aspiring to get my wiring even better and get it nice and clean. Probably the cleanest wire job I have is the LDO 2.4, and that's primarily because it's got all the cable troughs in it. It's not that my wiring was pristine, it's that I was able to hide my wiring more effectively. Okay, so it looks like Input Shaper is done. And let me switch over to the console and kind of see what it says. And then we'll also you're figuring it out. Well, and that's the other thing I noticed is like the Micron build, and I think the Annex Engineering K3 build, the manual kind of goes so far and then just stops. It was like doing the 0G. There's bits and pieces, but it's not a full manual like you're used to seeing on like a 2.4 or a Trident build. So, yeah, so let's go full screen and just kind of see what it was suggesting. So, outputs, recommended shaper type for Y is 2 hump. Never had that offered. It's 74 hertz, 2 hump frequency. Suggested max excel was 6,100 millimeters per second squared, so that's kind of low. And then if we cruise down here a little bit and look at X, the recommended type was EI at 80.6 hertz. And if we look at EI, its suggested max excel was 12,100 millimeters per second. That's kind of an interesting range. Okay, Chris, thanks for the lurk, and be safe on the way home. I don't know what your weather's like there, but it's probably pretty darn cold because it's like 50 degrees down here in North Carolina, so I'm sure it's colder up there. So definitely be safe. Yeah, I will go ahead and do the save config just to go ahead and save that and have it there. But then let's go and pull the files. Does it tell you how to pull those files out over here, or do we just need to drag and drop them over? Yeah, I think they're there. I think we just need to, let's see, did they put them over in temp? The CSVs are there, but we don't have the things. So let's copy the commands from the clipboard, run them, and we'll get the and it'll tell me to go fly a kite. The CSV files are there. It's just a different naming convention, of course. Yeah, Realm Online. I will probably try RadOS on a different build or another one. Hey, Solar 3DP, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good. I've got good vision in my eye. I'd still deal with it like feeling tired or that just that right eye, slight headache, a little bit, you just feel like it's off. So I've been sleeping a lot, trying to keep it eased. But yeah. Yeah, so the eyes are definitely doing well. Let me flip on over here to the main screen. So the eyes are doing well. Um, I still got a little bit of, like the residual of the mark where they always sign to make sure that they're doing the right side. And some of the, whatchamacallit, iodine or whatever left over because I still can't wash around my eye. But yeah, my eye surgery went well. I went in and did my follow-up visit today, and the surgeon was very pleased with how I'm healing and everything, and no main issues. So yeah, I've got plenty of pies over there. Ramon, I am going to try that RadOS. You sent me those files. I was looking at it. I just need to check it out. And by the way, Solar, I'm going to say thank you again. I've been running this the last couple of streams, but thanks again for providing this for us. It's really great. I do appreciate that. So yeah, I do appreciate it. It was really cool. So yep, things are going well. We move that out of the way. Yeah, it was really good. So thanks. Um, so the scripts to update this. temp resonances _x. I got you. So because it's using a different, it's just using a different file name. So let me copy that part. I need to copy this file name. Copy that. What I'm trying to do is, oh, sorry, one of these days. So what I'm trying to do right now is just run the scripts to get the Excel data converted into the chart data. And I know Aaron dropped me some other information, but I don't have Discord running on this machine right now. So I will bring that up a little bit later and try and run those other scripts that he provided. And it looks like our poll is done. So let's see what our poll results were. And it looks like a resounding success is everybody wants to see the Annex Engineering K3 next. So yeah, that was huge. So I will start I think I've downloaded all the files. I'll start printing all the parts. No, not Pressure Advanced. This was Input Shaper Solar. So I've got the two files created. Now what I need to do is pull them over so that we can look at them. So I will QBQ, log in. Yes. Okay, so we'll just grab the just put it on desktop. Here we'll go to, sorry, let me drag this over here. So all I'm going to do is not make that full screen, go into temp. I'm going to grab the oh, and let me rerun these commands again because I changed the data, but not the chart name. So I overwrote the X chart that was showing there was actually now the Y chart because I overwrote it because I only changed the X and Y in one spot. Hey, Hybrid Robotics, how's it going? Yeah, so now we're starting to get into a little bit of tuning. I wanted to do Pressure Advance, and then we'll do, or excuse me, I want to do Input Shaper, then we can look at Pressure Advance. But I will tell you that running, okay, 1 second. Okay, that one is the Y data. Let me change this to providing a Y chart. Here, let me pull this down, and then I'll show you like the first print of a benchy off of this printer without input shaper or pressure advance or really any other tuning other than just slowing down the speeds from like let's go hyper. I do not have, well, I do have a input shaper ADXL USB setup via a Pico. I will show that to you here in a second. So that's run. Let me do a refresh. So I should have X and Y data here. We'll grab all 4 of those files. We'll pull those over here to the desktop. Good. We will terminate this connection. Apparently I can't see things to figure out. Oh, where's the heck? Yeah, where the heck is the disconnect on? You just click on it, close it. So okay. So I do have a ADXL Pico dongle set up. I don't need it. Here, let me kill that camera. So I have the Pico dongle set up via USB. I don't need this because we're running a EBB 36 CAN bus toolhead board, and the EBB 36 has a accelerometer built into the toolhead board. So no, I'm not mounting directly down at the nozzle. It's back here. It's good enough for me, right? I am not using StreamerBot at the moment, Aaron. I started off using it, and I know that it's very configurable. But I switched from StreamerBot. I went to Own3D, and then there was a bunch of things with Own3D I didn't like. So right now I'm using StreamElements. So yeah, most of my stealth burners, so the full stealth burners, I'm running SB2209 board on them. And then my 0G Mercury ones, this one have the EBB 36 boards on them, and all of them have accelerometers, so I just run the accelerometers off the toolhead board. Oh, you used to alpha test for StreamerBot. I know you were using StreamerBot. I know a lot of people use it. I just haven't had the time to really go through and figure it out and tweak all the little things. So I'm being kind of lazy and just using StreamElements right now. So let's look at some charts. The CSV, this should be the chart data. Oofda. Interesting. So let's go full display. Let me see if I can make this bigger. So this is the chart data for X. EBB36 is for the round stepper motors. The EBB42 is the square for an NEMA 17 motor. So the EBB36 goes on the round NEMA 14 pancake motors that are used on like Clockwork 2 and you know, an orbiter, a stealth burner, a mini stealth burner, the Sherpa minis. Drop game works, but I don't have drop game on this screen setup. So sorry about that, Stephen Poole. When we go back to the next screen, it'll be there and available. Yeah, so the X, it's really weird. I'm getting some weird peaks up here. And I mean, my tool head is pretty rigidly mounted. So I'm not sure why I'm seeing the multiple peaks like that. The Y motor, the peaks are, you know, we're getting that one nice crisp peak up here. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know 100% how to read these. So, but it did suggest 2-hump EI, which I normally wind up doing like ZV or MZV. Yeah, give me 1 second, Ramon, and I will. Yeah, I do have it at about 140 on the belt, so that is something that I can potentially do is loosen the belts up and rerun it. So let me see about where we're at. Yeah, we're pretty close to being right at 150 on the belts right now as far as distance goes. So let me close that. We'll come back to scene 2 with the Logitech camera turned off still. So we'll set that, or the Logitech, the 922. So we'll move that down. And what we'll do is we'll retension these belts. We'll loosen them up a little bit. Yeah, and meanwhile, the EBB 36, I don't have a 42 on hand because I've never had to buy one. But the EBB 36, give me 1 second to find the thing on the silk screen. Okay. My eyes and trying to find the small details on here. So this is an EBB 36 module. Oh, wow. That's like no good lighting on there. Let me see if I can't get it up here where I got a little bit better lighting. This is your EBB 36 module. And right here, there's a chip missing. That would be for the max whatever chip that allows for the PT100, PT1000. And then the input shaper ADXL, I believe, is that little rectangular chip next to my ring finger right there, is the ADXL chip that's on this board. So this does have ADXL on the board. And then the EBB42 is the same thing. It's just in a square package, right? Like I said, there's two different versions. There's a version with that, whatever the max chip is, that lets you do PT100, PT1000. And there's a version without it. I normally buy it with them, but they have ADXL. The newer versions of the EBB36 and the EBB42 both have ADXL on them. The only difference is whether you add the max chip or not that gets you the PT100, PT1000 capability. And like I said, I love them. I've been running them that for well over a year now on my 0G Mercs and love them to death. So Chewy, you're back. So you missed the poll. It seems like everybody wants me to build the Annex Engineering K3 now. So when we're, I'll start slicing up and printing the files for that. So the solid fork will come off the table, and your build's going to be Saturdays, and then Tuesday, Thursday, during the week streams will be the Annex Engineering K3. And right now what we're going to do, since my printer's behind me just stopped, we're going to come in here to our sound application, and we're going to work on tuning our belts. So I'm going to set this right there. Seems like it. Let me do this. We're seeing that peak right about here. So it looks like we are at right about 110. So I don't know if the belts have already stretched a little bit to ease up, but it's right about 110, not 140. So yeah. Oh, no worries, Chew. I was just waiting on those panels. Now that I have the panels, we can keep going on your build on Saturdays. And then I opened it up to the stream to see what they wanted to see next. And I think with a couple of people like Aaron and Aaron's built a Micron, I believe, and Zombie's getting ready to build a Micron Plus, so I'm not sure what kit he's using to do his. And you know, the other big one's a Trident 350. Yeah, it's going to have a lot of bling on it, but everybody wanted to see the Annex Engineering K3, so we'll get that working while we're waiting for the black box to come in. Hey, Layer by Layer, how's it going? So the skinny is we were trying to check out Input Shaper. We just ran Shaper Calibrate on this, and God, this thing is like. Let me see if I can get this resembling something like great. There we go. What I'm going to do now over here is actually print the file. Did I? I haven't done it yet. So close that. Y'all who's here, I'm here. We're going to send this. This is going to be I think it was like about a 46-minute benchy. I did want to show you guys the last one. So this is the benchy that I just printed off. And I did this right before the stream, before doing any input shaper. And I know the color is not the greatest on this, so let me switch back over to the main camera. So once again, this was on this printer with no input shaping. All I did was my standard V0 file and slowed it down. Right, you'll notice at the bottom that at the rear of the boat, we did get a little bit of curling and lifting off, but you can see the words very well. There's a good view of that, how that bow lifted up. But that printed out really nice, no stringing, no layer shifting. So all in all, it printed boat well. And even the top layers, I mean, the top layers are really, really nice as well. Once again, this is no input shaping. So hopefully input shaping will add a little bit to it for us. And the other thing I wanted to do while this was heating up, at least I thought it was heating up. Apparently you actually have to say upload and print for it to start heating. And I'm going to go over to the full display to show this off. So, you know, we were having issues with the motors getting really, really hot on these, or on the printer. And I can't remember who told me about it on the last stream, but we installed the TMC Auto Tune Python scripts. And what you do for that is you come down here in your motor configuration. So I tend to have my stepper and then my TMC for that stepper right in the same section. And all I did was add this new section here, and it's autotune _ TMC and then the stepper. So in this case it's stepper X, so it matches the stepper X up here and the stepper X for the TMC. We tell it what kind of motor's there, and there's motor, I'll say there's a motor's catalog. So you tell it what motor you're using and whether you want to tune it for performance, quiet, or auto. And if you say auto for your A and B motors or your X and Y motors, it'll default to performance. And for Z, it will default to quiet mode. right? The one spread cycle basically, and one would be stealth chop. But doing this thing got bone quiet, and everything worked, and these motors stayed nice and cool. So highly recommend doing that. It's the first time I ever knew about it, and now Aaron's telling me about some more stuff to go play with as far as the input shaper stuff goes. So that'll be really good. I'm learning new things. So thanks everybody. And we'll come back here to the browser window. You guys can see this as it's doing its thing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the K3. Like I said, Fabrico, Hector with Fabrico is sending me a second PEI sheet and some motor mounts for it. But Evil Diesel, when he was over here today, we were taking a look at the kit, kind of digging through and checking some things out. So I'm looking forward to that build as well. Super low bass just when it starts down. Nice, hold a bit. What's that? The EBB 36 and 42s. Yeah, they've been having a sale on them, and I think they're ending their sale soon. So they're probably trying to. I don't want to say get rid of old stock because they have new stock coming. Because I don't think they're dropping anything new, other than the Kraken board that they're announcing at Smurf this week or this weekend. You almost got the switch wire running. So are you doing sensorless homing or are you running switches, Chewy? Because I can send you my my inner wire files if that's what you're building, or if it's a true switch wire, then the switch wire config files should have everything you need, provided you haven't deviated too much. Yeah, Kraken for the V24. Hey, Britt, how are you doing? Welcome on in. I promise you I am not going to jump and run on you this time. I felt so bad that you had just raided in with like 50-something people, and I was like, okay, peace, I'm out. But Mrs. Dragon was already on me for being streaming that late, and with me having surgery the next morning, she wanted me to get off and get a good night's sleep. Yep. And surgery went well. Eyes doing good. I'm getting a little bit of I'll say like pulsating in the periphery vision, which the doctor said that's kind of normal, especially since my eyes are still somewhat dilated from the surgery and the drops. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're going to stream for a little bit tonight until my eyes tell me I need to stop and lay down and let them rest. And I figured we're going to go ahead and get this printing and it sounds like everybody has decided they want to see the Annex Engineering K3 build next. So next Tuesday we will start that, which means I need to start printing files for that. I haven't seen Modlight yet tonight. I've got his files going. I'm going to print all the PLA parts, and then the orange parts that he wanted for the bed and the rookery, I'm going to print in ABS at his request. So it could, that's what I was thinking too, is it also could be like my heartbeat, because of the surgery and everything being a little swollen still in that eye, that it could be keeping my heartbeat rhythm going. So, but other than that, I'm keeping up on the required eye drops, which that's a blast. It's eye drops 3 times a day for the first week, and then twice a day for the second week, and then once a day for another 2 weeks. Hey, Bionic, welcome on in. Welcome on in. And so what we're starting here is the requisite benchy. We did one before at a little bit higher speed, so we just did input shaping on here and set up with the standard input shaper settings, or not standard, but let it whatever the auto calibration said would be the best settings. That's what we're running. And I did slow down my overall speeds just because it seemed like I kept outrunning the tool head. And I'm not sure if it was something in the extruder or the tool head itself, which I would assume the XG, from what I've read, should be able to do like well higher than a Revo. And I'm running the standard profile that I run on a Revo based V02. So don't know why I'm outrunning the hot end. But we'll slow her down. We'll go for reliable versus blazing fast. I'm good with that. Uh-oh, Salou, are you out there drinking? Are you doing shots again, Pez Liz? What we talk about drinking in the middle of the week? And Sabrit, I keep looking at different videos on droid builds, and I've seen some. Is it Lola? The one that looks kind of like a little ladybug. And then I've also been watching videos on doing the which one is it? The little unicycle one with the cone head. Is that B0 or D0? Dio. I've been watching that one as well. Now the Lola, I've seen people add lights, but it's a non-functioning. It's no. So I want something that we can move around and just doesn't have a light show. So we got to figure something out. Not sure who that is, but that's a Denver number. So you had a nap? Yeah, I don't have a tension headache, but I do have a little bit of a headache. But once again, my right eye is a little swollen. Um, yeah, so the Dio is like a uniwheel type. I have seen some BD1 builds, but the BD1 builds, the pit droids, got a lot of people have built pit droids, but they're not moving, right? And I kind of like the idea of doing like an R2D2 would be way too big, but that's where I started looking at like maybe a Dio. Um, but of course, a lot of that would have to be done and figured out, especially like the remotes and stuff ahead of time, and then maybe do like a final assembly or something at the show, because you'd have to have like the uh the tuning and the mixing and stuff done. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've also been dealing with the headache and my sinuses and stuff from all the cold weather. So that doesn't help when you have eye surgery, by the way. Yeah. Well, blowing your nose gets iffy when you have eye surgery. But we're working through it. I did get clearance from the doctor that said I could start driving again today, and I'll be able to go get Mrs. Dragon at the airport Saturday night. But I think I'll take her car and pick her up and let her drive home. Might be a little bit safer. Hey Oz, welcome on in. So once again, we're printing PLA right now. So I have the door off. I've got the door prepped and everything, and I've had the door on. I just took the door off because I know I was going to be printing in PLA. And we will, of course, do a ABS stream on this as well. So I will get the top on and the door on, and we'll do a little bit of ABS printing on this. And we might be able to crank the speeds up then, because we'll have, a little bit more heat, a little bit more tolerance of the heat. Should make it a little bit easier to flow. I am running, and this may be an issue as well, as I am running a hardened steel nozzle on this. So yeah, Ozzy, we're having a good day. We're having a good day. I was another day off of work because of my eye surgery. So just another day of relaxing around the house and keeping all the lights off, and went and saw the doctor for the follow-up, and the doc said everything's looking good. So We'll be going in and having the left eye cataract surgery done next Wednesday. I have not seen their untethered animatronics, but I can just imagine with the technology that's out there now. Pete, welcome on in. Celebrating the start of your 15th year 3D printing. Oh, wow. I can imagine. Was it, who was it that just rebuilt? It was Vez that just rebuilt using new technology like one of the original RepRap machines. And I think it's being auctioned at Smurf. I'm not sure, but I believe it is. But I thought that was kind of cool. And I was watching John Schoen, Proper Printing. I was watching his latest video, and I love that man. He does some of the weirdest shit. Like, who would have thought of taking a a griddle, right, an electric griddle, and using it as the heated build plate for a printer, and then he's going to use his like truss gantry system to make 3D moving gantry. So that basically the rather than the build plate moving, the entire upright and gantry are going to move. I'll say kind of like a farm bot does, right? So rather than the X and Y or the Y moving, the build plate moving, the entire gantry system is going to slide forward and back on it. I'm like, that's just weird. But the things that man comes up with, and it's just all kinds of unique weirdness. Yeah, it's how the pancake bot works. Exactly. But on the pancake bot, you're extruding, you know, pancake batter, and he's actually going to look at having multiple gantries so that you can print with multiple materials and even try and get his resin paste tool head on it, where he's basically printing in resin and using a laser to harden it as he's printing layers. So just the way that the guy comes up with things definitely pushes the boundary some. So how are things going, Britt? Are you what projects are you working on? Yeah, John Schoen of Proper Printing. I think it's like Schone. Yeah, the pancake bot I think would be pretty good for Sunday or Saturday or Sunday morning with kids. Ah, so you got photos over on things now? Cool. Yeah, I need to start subscribing to his stuff and start printing out stuff because his latest dragons are really cool. I need some Photosmint Dragon stuff in the Dragon Den. And at some point, I'm going to have something really, really cool here. And it's coming from, I believe it's a Mr. Pool print that I won over on my sister's stream, Westery. Yes, that is so cool, Britt. Always a good day when there's more dragons to print. Apparently, I'm going to need to like dedicate one of these printers to just printing dragons because one, I need more dragons, and two, I need to print something other than printer parts for a while. Now, is Photos going to Smurf? I'm like, would so like to get there. I need to go and get my passport going so that I can try and get there one of these years because I'm sure they're going to continue to have them. No, well, that stinks. Yeah, John is very, very innovative. And then you get him and um, CNC Kitchen together, and they come up with some really cool things because they're somewhat close together, and I like how they test things out and really look into the science of the 3D printing instead of just some of the material science, I guess. Yeah, I need to get my passport, and then yes, I'll have to come up and see all the Canucks. I know if I get my passport, I know Free Heathen wants me to come up and hang out. Now, if you do an event up in Canada, Pez, you're going to have to make sure that Nick and Polymaker come out for it. Can't let him off the hook. A Montreal event. They have poutine. Yeah, you just have to make it in a better time of the year than like right now, because cold months probably not the best time. But I think it's getting interesting. I think it's going to start getting to the point with so many things starting to ramp up that we're really going to have to start picking and choosing what events we go to because there's just going to be so many options. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Hey, Pink, welcome on in. Now, wait a minute, Pink. I thought you were in Canada. Oh. So I'm hoping. I haven't got word from Maker Millwright, aka the Free Heathen. She just wishes she was in Canada. Okay, Ohio. Ooh, so you're over by KB3D and Chewy then, huh? In gloomy Ohio. Is it really that gloomy? Actually, it probably is today. Go here, go there. All right, so I haven't got anything from Maker Millwright saying that he's received the package. And I'm also expecting a package to be hitting uh, Shannon Rona as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out on those two. Canada is cold, so is Ohio. Yeah, well, I lived in Ohio for a while. I was stationed at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So, yeah, I remember the cold. Yeah. So I've I've lived in all kinds of weather. So I grew up in Florida, went to basic training in Texas, down at Lackland, Biloxi, Mississippi for tech school. And then my first duty station was Elmendorf Air Force Base in Anchorage, Alaska. 3 years after that, I drove the Alaskan Canadian Highway in March in a two-door hatchback Honda Civic DX. Drove the Alcan down to California. Spent a little bit of time in California, then went to Ohio. From Ohio, I went to Arizona. And then I got a chance to go to Germany for 3 years, turned that into 6. Then went to Colorado, met Mrs. Dragon, and wound up over here in North Carolina. So I've kind of been all over the place. Been out to, Saudi Arabia a couple of times. That's just hot. So yeah. The little screw holes need, yeah, that would be a bad idea, is to put little googly eyes over the screw holes on that. Yeah, I just don't have any googly eyes. But it definitely wouldn't be hard to do. But I don't know about running it in an enclosure. Not sure if the googly eye adhesive will stay on there or not. Science experiments, yeah. And then over on KB3D Chris's stream last night, we talked him into putting a Leviathan board on his Voron 2.4, which means, well, not which means, but then he made the comment about sending his Octopus board from that build to Subsector so that can support her build of Frankie into a Trident. So we'll be helping Subsector do her first real big machine build from the ground up. I saw that. And I think Mandic really may have printed one out. I believe it was him. And I've got one of the what was it, Omni? Their modular enclosure with like shells for 3D prints or other big, small figurines and stuff. I've got one of those printed out. I just haven't finish putting it together. I need to finish putting it together and put it on the wall and get a few things off of shelves. While we're sitting here chatting, I am deburring and taking brims off of pieces for the Micron build, but we'll just bag those up and leave them off to the side for the time being. We go into the Annex Engineering K3. And I found that whenever if I'm doing single parts that are right in the middle of the bed on the bigger Vorons, no problem, no need to necessarily do a brim. But if I'm trying to do a full plate, I have found it just easier to slice it with a brim, just because it gives me a better chance of not having an issue with any of the print. And it only takes one to break loose and you not to be paying attention at that time to wreck an entire plate. So doing a brim and then going through and having to remove all of the brim material and deburr the edges, that's a little bit of elbow grease that's well worth it to ensure that you don't have any failed prints. And yeah, the Leviathan board looks really cool because it's got 5 built-in TMC 2209s and 2 built-in 5160s. So you've got separate power inputs for those 5160s, so you can run them at a higher power rating and use those for your ABs normally to run your faster Core XY kinematic systems. For the K3, I will be running Annex Engineering's Constellation boards. So I've got a trad rack all ready to go. So I will also be putting a trad rack on that. I'll probably have to reprint parts for the trad rack because I know that they've done several updates since they opened the beta up. So I'll probably do some update prints and rebuild that slightly. And I've got one of the carabiner boards for the trad rack. Hey, Westry One, how's it going? Welcome in, sis. Welcome in. So, sis, I have not heard from Shannon, and I have not checked UPS yet on the tracking. Did she get a box? Because I'm sure she would have told you she got a box. You will inquire? Okay. I mean, I can inquire as well. I figured you might know since I haven't heard anything from her directly. I just want to make sure that it makes it there safely. Oh, crap. Alexa, stop. Or not Alexa, Siri, stop. Hate that. You scared the crap out of me. Okay, Westery. So right now we're just printing a benchy. We've done some input shaping, and we just did the automated input shaping, and we took the figures that it said it wanted to try, and we just hit go on a new benchy. The last benchy I did actually worked out pretty well, even though it was sliced with higher speeds, print speeds. I just had to manually slow it down. This benchy was sliced with lower speeds, so I'm able just to let it run. And we're going to see how it comes out. It looks like it's coming out pretty darn good. For all intents and purposes. And we are running 230 on the temperature on this, by the way. So I am running it a little bit hotter, but that's also because I'm running a hardened steel nozzle on this hot end. So I do try to run it a little bit hotter. So a little bit faster, and temperature is not necessarily a bad thing. But like I said, I will start, I'll probably sit down while watching TV and Aaron later tonight and start slicing up the files for the Annex Engineering K3. So now that I'm done with printing the micron parts, I'll start printing the files for the K3 so that we can start that build on Tuesday. Hey, Daddy Wazzy, how are you doing, sir? Welcome in, welcome in. Hope your day is going well, your week as well. And Westery, how's Mia and the horses doing, and all the other doggies and stuff? How are the animals doing with the cold weather? I'm waiting for some new live on a farm. They said it would be fun. They said, especially with like a, I don't know, an Odark 30 feeding in the cold. This isn't bad for a benchy. This is obviously not like super fast. Let's run the speed benchy test here, because once again, I haven't dialed in this particular filament or anything else. We haven't done like pressure advance yet. We just did input shaping and said, okay, let's see what input shaping gets us. And so far, Well, it's getting us a boat. Let's see, Britt, if I remember right, you you released a couple of new pendant files, correct? Like not today or really recently, but in the recent past. So maybe I'll have to run a couple of those off. Yep, I'll have to go get those. If I might have already got them pulled down. I just haven't sliced them and printed them on anything. So we'll have to get a few of those prints going on here. Especially since they're fairly small and they print fairly quickly. So you can really, that's why I liked when I used that one, your first pennant on, God, which machine was that one? Can't remember. Okay, what I missed? Find the glove. You're using your sweatshirt sleeves over your hands. Well, that works a little bit till your sweatshirt gets soaked, and then it's really not providing any warmth, is it? It ended in dragon. That I don't know what that was in relation to, but good. So you did all the food first and water last, so that's good. Don't need to get frostbite. Okay, we'll put those away. I think I'm going to sit down for half a second. Going good. We'll be getting to a smokestack here in a second. Coffee. Oh, it ended in dragon. Yeah, that's yeah. That narrows it down. I'm trying to think. Was it Iron Dragon? I thought it was a smaller one. Could have been Gold Dragon. Could have been the Rook 2020 build. Hello Bean, Harbor boots, Carhartt gear, and several sweatshirts. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I remember I had a set of Carhartt overalls that got issued in Alaska, and I still wore like long johns, my BDUs, and then the Carhartts over the top of it. Okay, we got an ad break in progress, and while the ad break's here, I'm going to go on mute real fast and go handle my allergies. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, the Carhartt stuff is no joke, and I wound up having to give mine away because I couldn't fit into them. I got issued them when I was in Alaska, and let's just say I gained some weight. But yeah, those things were fabulous. Like there were times where I was taking them off after starting to work out in the middle of the snow up in Alaska, just because I was starting to get too hot and started sweating. Let that cool down for just a second. And we'll take a look at how that looks in the exactly. Exactly. So I'm going to switch over to the main camera and then say one of the other things that finally arrived was my hermit crab setup. And with the hermit crab, there's a standard and a CAN bus version, and I got the CAN bus version. But what it is it's a mounting plate that will mount to your X rail, and then separate plates. And this, I believe, has 3 different plates, so you can set up 3 different tool heads, and you can pop them off and just hot swap tool heads, basically. So this is going to go on possibly my TiVo Tarantula to make a test rig for some things in the future as I test out some hot ends for other machines. So what I did, but like I've got 5,000 little paper cuts on that thumb. That was one of the other cool things that came in this week, besides the KB3D stuff. Let's pop this off. And we'll take a look. We had good adhesion all the way around. So we'll take a look at the bottom, and you can see all of the words or the letters. Very good layer lines. We got a little bit of ringing still, a little ghosting, a little bit of ringing. But I think I may have the accels still up too high because I never went in and changed the accels. There's a little bit of ringing, but all in all, this came out really nice. And this is Polymaker. What are we using here? Polymaker Poly Light, dark blue. So yeah, between our two boats, I mean, it came out really good. I think we got a little bit more ringing, maybe, that I'm seeing, but once again, I think the accelerations might still be set a little high compared to where it wanted them with the input shaper choices that we have. Yeah, it's a really dark blue. It really is. I like my blues, and this is a really, really dark blue. There you go. You can see a little bit of the ringing right there at the portal and on the corners there. But we can still work on tuning that out. Like I said, I think my accels are still up too high. Whoops. Benchy down, benchy down. But the whole front bow works really well. Like I said, you get all of the letters there, so our first layer squish is really good. So, ooh, you have news about the hot air balloon ride? Are you going to scream? Yeah. Yeah, I really like my blues. Blue's my favorite color, so I really do like my blues. Now what? Let me see what my accels are set for. That max accel was 5,000. That should be less than where we were at. What was our? $12,003 for X, and then Y. And then the two hump with 6,100. So it should have been fine. Ooh, I'll have to take a look at that. Um, are there any advantages? It's a little bit bigger, so the 02 is a 120 by 120 bed, and this is a 160 by 160. And to help you visualize that, this is a build plate from a V0. So you get a little bit more build volume, right? And this is basically a Trident that's shrunk. right? So it's a more rigid bed mount, though I really haven't had any issues with the Kirigami bed on my V0. It's been pretty rock solid, but okay, where are we at? Let me. Yeah, so that's what I was mentioning. So I won the space shuttle on Westery's stream the other night, and that thing looks amazing. I can't wait to get that and get it on display in the background here. Yeah, so like I said, it's definitely bigger, and you know it is a more rigid build plate mounting. You've got your ability to do Z tilt adjust and basically get a nice good level surface for when you're printing. Um, so yeah, right now I just need to continue to do some more tuning here. Um, and speaking of tuning, I want to do some flow rate tuning. Of course, I'd have to adjust this once I start going to ABS later on, but I just want to see how close we are on flow rates. Yeah, 160 or 180 is a good size. This is a 160 build. The K3 that we're going to be building next is the Annex Engineering K3 is a 185 build plate. You'll ship it with tracking, yeah. Yep, Westery. Ugh. So yeah, I'm going to kick off a print for extrusion multiplier. So this will give us a test of where our extrusion multiplier is for now, and then so this is the first pass. We'll figure out which one looks best. Then we'll change the config some and run a second pass to tune it in a little bit more. And like I said, I just like ever since I set up that TMC auto tune, all the motors are staying nice and cool, and the they're quiet. All of them are quiet, even the ones that are running like the A and Bs are running in performance mode, and I can barely hear them. So that's a good tool to know about. Okay, Westery. Yeah, so this kit, DFH had it on sale. So that's when I grabbed it. And I still had to get a few things for this kit. The Micron kit that I got from FormBot pretty much has everything to include all of the, the motherboard, the power supply, and all that good stuff. So I would suggest taking a look at some of those kits. And I know Fabrico has I believe they have the Salad Fork and the Micron kits as well, and they're not that bad. And you can get the 160 options in both of them. So that's a pretty good size. So I mean, I'm finding out kind of like Aaron that this is a nice size printer. that fits on the shelf nicely and still enables me to print just about everything I need to. Right? Where the V0 is really nice. And for the most part, I can print the vast majority of things on there, but it's nice to have some of the bigger kits as well to be able to do some things. Salad fork is Honey Badger Complete. Micron is an LDO hardware kit. All right, thanks, Delmar. I figured you would have the skinny. I don't know how long you've been lurking around over there, but thanks for jumping in and commenting. Oh. Oh, not much, Delmar. Just chilling out, waiting for Aaron to start, and I'll be jumping over to Aaron's stream here in a little bit to give my eyes a little bit of a rest. You're a sucker. Yeah, so I've got the salad fork. I've got the Micron Plus over there, but everybody, I ran a poll earlier, and everybody wants to see me do the Annex K3 next. So that'll be the next build that we work on during the week is the K3. And then we'll continue to do Chewy's 2.4 build on Saturdays. Same here, you're waiting on Aaron. Oh. Yeah, so we pushed plastic with this last stream on Tuesday, and it really wasn't coming out well. I think I was just way overdriving the extruder or the hot end, one of the two or both. So I've slowed it down a lot. We ran some input shaper on it this evening, and we made boat, and boat looks like boat, which is good. So now it's just going to be working on some tuning and getting a good slicer profile going for it in Orca Slicer. And then we'll put this over on the line, and we've got most of the panels on. The doors done. I just need to add the top, and I'll be able to fully enclose it. Yeah, that was the thing I was talking to people about, was that the Micron manual and the K3 manual are not, we'll say, like complete like you would expect out of the Vorons. So we will have to fumble around a little bit. Hector is sending me, I've got the shipment information, so it should be here next week when we start the build, but he's sending me the motor mounts and the and another PEI sheet for it. So yeah, I expect there will be some learning and some looking at Fusion 360 CAD for the K3. So that'll be the prep work to get me ready for black box. I did get some of the black box parts in during the Black Friday sale. I did order some of the the heat blocks that I'll need. So yeah, we got some of that in, and those are looking really nice and snazzy and shiny. Nicely CNC'd water blocks for the hot ends. And then, yeah, now that I just finished printing all the Micron parts and everybody wants to see the K3, we'll go ahead and start the parts for the K3 and get those going so that we'll be able to start that build on Tuesday. I downloaded all of the parts, so unless they've updated the parts or the GitHub files in, say, the last couple of days, I should have the latest and greatest. So the Micron Plus, the Formbot kit I got, it says it has pre-crimped wires. Now, what that means, I won't know until I get in and really open up and start going through the kit and doing the build. So, got the latest mini stealth burner with the 3 ducts per side. Are you talking about for this build, Delmar, or for something else? And Art K redid the gantry parts on the Micron while you were printing them. Ended up printing 3 times. Yeah. Yeah. I know there was some 0G parts I was waiting on Turtle Crawler. Like, he was literally like, okay, I just uploaded the parts. Good. I downloaded them, printed them, and like 2 days later, he's like, oh, I made changes. I'm like, dang it. Let me download them and reprint them. But I knew that I was in that closed beta build of doing that enclosure, so it is what it is. And I will probably redo my trad rack with the latest files and add it to the K3. Yeah, zombie. That's what I noticed is there's 2 different versions of a manual out there for the Micron, and I think they are in the process of doing an update and changing the format using a different format, but it's incomplete. So you'll be going along, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, there's no manual. Grab the CAD and just go. You'll have to think through some things or wait for the manual to be done. So, and when you've got a Micron to build, right, Zombie? I think you did. And if so, which Micron kit did you get? Okay, yeah, I think I've just got the 2 ducts. Yeah, I think this one just has the 2 ducks on it. Uh-oh, Prent's not doing well. What's wrong, Steve Poole? West 3D's version? Okay. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're over on West 3D's side of the country, so you're oh wait, that's right, you're Maine. Dang it. I don't know why I kept thinking you were West Coast. You're up in Maine, right? Sir? Yes, Aaron? Oh, thank you. Yeah, what happened? Something happened. It's looking like doo doo. Um, yeah, we'll stop that now. Thank you for the catch. I was not paying attention. We'll let that cool down a little bit and then try and peel that stuff up. He was like, "Sir, somebody's being formal. Like, what'd I do? Thought I was in trouble." Thank you for the good catch and the call out. We'll take a look there. I don't know why that was so jank, but we'll look into it. And Aaron, are you about ready to start your stream there, my friend? We'll really like to jump over and do your build where you're at now with the build. Get my eyes checked. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, zombie. Hey, my eyes are good. I just wasn't paying attention because I'm deburring parts at the moment. Cleaning off brim and deburring parts. Some for me, some for others. Well, that was interesting. A couple that were going down nicely. Let's try that again. Pay attention to sharp bits. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Those KB3D reamers are nice. I heard you talking about them on your stream the other night. And the big thing is your drills will drill through a hole, but it will not be round. It'll be some type of oval, and it could dig into plastic and really gouge a plastic piece, where your reamers are going to guarantee a round hole, and it's going to be exact size. It's not going to oversize the hole at any point. So, yeah, definitely worth getting a set of reamers, especially if you're 3D printing, because we all know we're pushing molten plastic, which means it's not going to be perfectly round holes all the time. Oh. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Man, everybody went live. Okay, gang, it looks like Aaron is now live, and I'm going to go ahead and get this print going, but I do want to raid out simply because I need to give my eyes a rest, and just sitting here with a couple of bright lights in my face, probably not the best thing for me. So I'll keep an eye on this, make sure the first layer goes down and doesn't tear up. But let me go ahead and get a raid started to head over to Aaron 3DP. Thank you all for being here. And we will, like I said, here we go, raid. We will start getting the parts ready for the K3 build, so that Tuesday we can start the K3 build. On Saturday, we will be working on Chewy's 2.4 build, so we'll get that going. Thanks, Zombie. Please go with me. I just got the raid started. Please join me as we go over and raid Aaron. He's definitely a really good guy. He does some really cool builds as well. Really good streams. So let's go over and raid him. And you guys have a great night. Stay out of trouble. Stay warm. And we'll see you on Saturday morning. Thanks all. Bye.